Well, hello and welcome to my latest video. First of all, one of my regular viewers, a subscriber, he shall be nameless, but I'm going to call him Nigel because nobody would use a real name in making comments on a video, would they? Nigel said we've had enough of seeing at your garage. And I was thinking, I mentioned in one of my previous videos about somebody made a personal remark about my hair. Well, now they've lost interest in my hair. They're not commenting on the fact that I've worn the same top for about 6 months, actually. They're commenting on my abode and this garage. This isn't some kind of YouTube studio. It's not full of vast quantities and pounds worth of equipment. This is my home. This is where I live. As a consequence of spending too much time making videos and in fact laughing at my own videos, my family said, you seem to like your bloody subscribers and your viewers more than you like us, so why don't you go and live in that bloody garage? So I have moved in to the garage, Nigel. And at some point in the next few days, when I've got nothing better to do, I shall give you a voyage around my garage so you can see what my living quarters are actually like. So what are we talking about today? We are talking about, yes, the big one you've been waiting for, power meters. Should you get a power meter? What are they? Are they any good? Do they work? Are they worth the money? If all the pros have them, shouldn't you have one as well? Well, the answer to that, my friends, is a big fat yes. Of course you should get a power meter. And you're going to say, no, Julian, I've seen your videos before. You're just making fun of us. I bet you haven't got a power meter. I have got a power meter. And what's more, I've got two power meters. I've got one power meter on one bike and I've got one power meter on another bike. Neither of them, incidentally, are on the gravel bike, which is the one I ride most of the time. So I don't actually know what my power is on the gravel bike, but I know what my power is on the bikes that I don't ride. Now, there are a few key abbreviations that you have to understand if you get a power meter. A power meter, by the way, is a meter that you attach to your bike that measures your power. So that's what it is. And the key thing you have to understand is called FTP. Now, FTP stands for fast track pedaling, and it came out of the track cycling boom, which was obviously very popular and is incredibly popular now. And it refers to how quickly you turn the pedals, because a track cyclist has to turn the pedals really quickly in order to generate speed. That's how you generate speed. You turn the pedals quickly. So fast track pedaling, FTP, and the number, your FTP number, is a key metric when you use your power meter. Now, my FTP is 265, and what that means is that I can turn the pedals 265 times in an hour, and that enables me to go at a certain speed, which enables me to keep up with people who are pedaling at the same speed that I am. Although it doesn't allow me to keep up with people who are going faster than I am, it does allow me to be in front of people who are going slower than I am, and it allows me to go faster than people who aren't on bikes at all. So, for example, people who are walking, some of my favourite people in the world, joggers, some of my other favourite people in the world, dogs, if I have to outrun dogs or outride dogs. So the FTP is a key metric. And when you start your journey with your power meter, the thing you have to do is an FTP test. This is to measure how fast you turn the pedals. And the way it works is you go out on your bike and you go for a ride, generally for about 20 minutes. And when you come back, you have to look at your cranks, and you'll see, it's not easy to see, and in fact it helps if you've got a microscope, but there is a wear that happens on your crank. So it's a bit like the rings on a tree. When you want to calculate the age of a tree, you cut the tree down and then of course, if you cut the tree down, then it's died, hasn't it? So it's not going to get any older. Well, the thing about the cranks is you measure the wear on your cranks. You can get a special crank wear measuring tool. Park Tool do one for $995. It's very nicely made. It's blue, obviously. And when you measure your cranks, you'll see that number. So I measured my cranks and the number was 265. So the power meter has been tremendously helpful in terms of calculating my training regime, in working out how fast I can go up a hill, because I know if I'm going up a really steep hill, you may have seen the stage in the Vuelta on Sunday, which went up the Angliru, really steep mountain in Spain. Well, what I know is that if I turn the cranks 265 times in an hour, I will be able to get up that hill at a faster pace than somebody who can only turn the cranks at, let's say, 240 or 220. Now, the thing you have to remember is the FTP number on its own is not particularly helpful. What you have to know is watts per kilogram. Now, watts per kilogram refers to the FTP number divided by 17 multiplied by your age, and that will give you your watts per kilogram. Now, if for somebody like me, I'm 64. I weigh about 80 kilograms, so I take my FTP, my 265, I multiply that by 80, I divide it by my age, which is 64, and what I do is I come up with a number, and that number is about 2.5. Now, 2.5 watts per kilogram means that I can maintain my FTP for an hour and a half, not just an hour, I can maintain it for an hour and a half, and that means I will go faster than somebody else who's not as quick as me. Now, the pro cyclists, they're generating much higher numbers, as you can imagine. So some of their numbers in terms of watts per kilogram might be up in the double figures, so 10, 15, 20, 50. Even there are reports that some of the earlier cyclists during the heyday of the Tour de France here, and I'm thinking of people like Lance Armstrong or Jan Ulrich or other people like that, were achieving watts per kilogram figures up in the low 50s. So 54, 55, 56 even on that Tour de France win that Lance Armstrong no longer has. So there are significant gains to be achieved. That was obviously done artificially, but if you train well and you get a power meter, you attach it to your bike, and if you do what I do, get a power meter, attach it to the bike, and then don't ride that bike, but ride a different bike, then what you'll find is that you no longer care about the data, you no longer care about your FTP, you no longer care about watts per kilogram, you no longer care about Strava, and that puts you in the same position as everybody else in the world, because nobody cares, right? What you have to understand is that we are all alone in a godless universe, and Strava is not the solution to our ills. So I'm on Strava, obviously. I record my FTP numbers for every ride. I know what my watts per kilogram is. I can go out for a ride with somebody who's slower than me and I will go faster than them. And I can go out for a ride with somebody who's faster than me, and then generally I'll go slower than them. And that's information, right? That's data, key data that I didn't have before I had my power meter. So I come back from a ride, generally on the bike that doesn't have the power meter, and I check the numbers on the power meter that's on the bike that I haven't ridden, and then I upload that data to Strava, and then lots of people give me kudos because they want to be able to achieve the kind of numbers that I do. And in order to achieve those kind of numbers, you're going to have to watch my next video, which is about a training regime. So to answer my question at the beginning, should you get a power meter? Yes, of course you should. Is it going to help your cycling? Yes, of course it will. Will you be the envy of your friends? Yes, of course you will. Will it make you a faster cyclist? Yes, of course it will. Will it cost you money to achieve these marginal gains? Yes, but it's money well spent. So, power meters, one of the best inventions after tubeless tyres, obviously, and disc brakes, Di2 and things like that, and the Assos towel, £90 still available. I suggest you get one. And if you tune into my next video, you'll see how to develop your training program so that your power continues to increase just like mine did. So thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.